Greetings, everybody. I'm Lobo, and welcome to Luna. Whoa. Sorry about that. Welcome to Luna. This is episode 115 of my Minecraft survival series, and I guess let me tell you some stuff I've been doing in between episodes. So first things first, I've been kind of wandering around trying to figure out certain things, and one thing that I need to figure out, I've been thinking about stuff we're doing outside the city, right? One thing we need to figure out is what to do with this entrance over here, because once we actually get our river and stuff going around, this is not going to be great. Oh, you can see some spoilers there. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's coming soon. But yeah, I was thinking we need to do something with this entrance to our city because it doesn't actually need to be an entrance to our city. We already have two. I only want to. We have, of course, our entrance, our sea entrance is going to be over in the waterside district of Luna. And we also have our land entrance, which is going to be located at Luna's approach. And speaking of the approach, we are headed that way now. But yes, I think this is going to be the only land entrance to our city. We'll get rid of that other one. We'll make a build there instead, because this entrance it's bigger, it's better, and it's much more defensible. You know, we have this bridge right here that's going to be running across this river that's non-existent as of right now, but we'll be there eventually. But yeah, today we're going to be working out here in the approach. We're not working on anything new today because we have a lot of projects that are unfinished. Our Explorer's Lodge there, for example, that's something that needs to get done. It needs an entire exterior to it. So I think that is what we're going to be working on today. The Explorer's Lodge exterior. This lag over here is just terrible. Yes, an exterior is what we're doing. And as far as what we're doing for that exterior, the only thing I have really planned so far is the entrance right here. Like, I have an idea for what we can maybe do around the entrance. It's going to be a little experimental. It's not something I've tried before, but you know, I like to experiment from time to time and try different stuff. And that's what this area, the approach, is actually going to be about, you know, about trying some new stuff, experimenting, trying to get better with different styles of building. I do need to go grab some materials before we actually get started because I am totally unprepared right now. But yeah, I'll be back here in a few minutes. All right, so we have our workstation all set up here and we're just about ready to get started. Now, I've been kind of thinking about like what materials we're actually going to use to build this thing. So I have this little template set up down, not really template, but like kind of like block palette thing set up down here to kind of determine what I want this to be built out of, right? And originally I was thinking maybe we go with something that kind of matches the interior of it. We use some sandstone or something, but ultimately, I don't think that's going to work as well for what I want to do as terracotta wood, just a plain uncolored terracotta, you know? So keeping that in mind, I was trying to think what accent blocks we should use. And I was thinking, well, we haven't used granite, but I don't think we're going to use that for this build either. So I was thinking, what kind of woods could we use then? And, you know, this acacia one, that almost convinced me to try it just to see, but ultimately, I think we need to be a little bit more cohesive with the interior, so we need to carry one block over, and that's going to be this dark oak right here. Mixing that with the different blocks, the terracotta right here, and the brick foundation, and the jungle wood accents, which are not featured in the interior. And yeah, I mean, I'm willing to give this a shot. I don't know how it's going to look overall on a large scale, but I'm willing to give this thing a try. So yeah, I do need to go ahead and grab some materials. In fact, hold on. Maybe instead of doing the regular dark oak, maybe would strip dark oak look better? That's what I'm wondering. We can give that a try. Yeah, we'll roll with that. I think we'll roll with that. So to start off with, we're going to need to collect some of this stuff right here. And that's kind of why I set up this little mini manual dark oak farm over here instead of having to go all the way back to the House of Leaves every time I want this stuff. I anticipate that we'll be using a good amount of it. And I guess it would also make sense to go ahead and put some jungle wood out here so we can start collecting some of that as well. And this is a block that, yeah, we are able to farm this. Oh, look at that. It already grew. We are able to farm this automatically at our ghast tree farm. But the thing is, I have not actually actively been farming this. So yeah, instead of wasting time with AFKing and collecting a bunch of this stuff, I think we'll just go ahead and have these jungle trees over here so that way we can harvest them as we need them. Because there is a chance, and you know me, there's a good chance that I'm going to end up going pretty heavy on the accents. And if jungle wood is going to be our accent, there's a good chance we're going to be using a pretty good amount of this stuff as well. And you know what? I just thought of something, and I'm going to go ahead and retroactively add this to the lore of this place. So right here we have our jungle tree, right? Which obviously comes from the jungles. And then we have our dark oak, which comes from the forest. We have our terracotta, which comes from the mesa. Basically, the Explorer's Lodge is going to be comprised of blocks gathered from all over this world because they're explorers, right? So they built their lodges with materials gathered from all over the place. Yeah, I think that is a really cool addition to this world. It's completely unintended, but that's what I'm going to go ahead and say the reason is for this particular choice of blocks that we're going to be using here. All right, so jungle trees seem to want to be stingy with their saplings. So what I think we're going to do is kind of alternate the hills that we're actually putting these things on. That way we give the leaves a chance to decay before new trees grow. I think that might be a good idea. Otherwise, we're going to end up running short on our jungle right here. So yeah, that's a thing we're going to do. Terracotta has been acquired, our bricks are done smelting up, but I don't think we have enough to actually do what we need to do. But luckily, these stonemasons do sell some, so we will be supplementing our supply with some stuff that we bought from them because, yeah, I kind of despise having to go out and find clay for myself. You still need to restock. You need to get to your workstation, Ryan. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Okay. So yeah, we'll just continually come back to these guys for our brick needs. But I am going to need you guys to make your way to your workstations, restock. We got a job to do. Come on, guys. Hustle. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am ready to get started building. Hopefully we have enough of what we need. I'm a little iffy on that at the moment, but we're going to go ahead and get started anyway. So to get started, we have these red bricks right here. These are going to connect our building to the ground right here, which is currently non-existent, but will be eventually existent. Over here, we'll have some wood and basically continue this into a porch area, you know, continue the same floor design. And then right here, we're going to have our terracotta walls, and this is what the actual building is going to be made of. And what we're going to be doing first is just getting the basic general structure of this in, which is more than likely going to be a very large cube. And then from there, we'll start working out how this building should actually look, our details and all that stuff. So I think what we're going to do right now is go ahead and call Watchdog on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get the general structure of this building in place. Welcome back, everybody. We have the general shape of this building in here now, and it's time to actually start working in some details and covering up some details. Let's go ahead and replace this with a stair so that looks like it fits in a little bit better. And we'll probably have to do the same thing to the other side as well. Yes, we will. Okay, let's go ahead and replace this one. I decided to try something like different with the roof here, and you know, I'm interested to see how this turns out when the build is actually done. I think it looks kind of neat. And as I said, we're going to be, ow, that was not intended to hurt my feet as much as it did. Okay. And as I said, this area is where we're going to be experimenting, trying new stuff, and, you know, doing stuff that we're just not comfortable with or that we haven't done before. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to how this area is going to turn out as a whole. But, yeah, right now we're just focused on getting the Explorer's Lodge built. And, yeah, we need to actually start getting some details, making this building look more like a building. So yeah, let's figure out what we're going to do here. Now, one block we discussed, which we did not use in the construction of the general structure of this building, is jungle wood. And that's because we're going to be using that to accent certain areas, as you can see right here, just kind of breaking some stuff up and also making some stuff non-spawnable. So we're going to be using that same strategy over here on our entrance. We're going to basically put up some handrails on these little areas right here, which will make these non-spawnable and also add a bit more variety to the color scheme. So we'll do the same thing up here just like this. And actually, do we want to maybe go and connect these up like that? No, I think I like them better unconnected, so we'll just go ahead and do that. But yeah, let me go ahead and get some of these in. And there we go. In addition to the jungle wood, I also want to add some color to this build, and I was thinking maybe some vibrant colors, maybe the same colors we used in here, the light blue, the green, and the yellow. But instead of banners, maybe we use something else, something that's not going to add to the lag over here, potentially. Oh, in addition to that, before I forget, in addition to that, in the interior here, before we leave, somebody suggested that we get rid of these top trapdoors on these tables right here and just leave it as sea lanterns. And I think that might be a good idea, actually, because that also allows us to be able to place stuff on top of these. You know, a little cup right here full of coffee. Yeah, that's coffee. So we got coffee cups because, you know, our cartographers that are going to be in here, they have work to do, right? So they need their coffee. Yeah, I do think that is preferable to this. So that is something, yeah, I think that's something we're going to do here. Now, as far as how we're going to go about adding our colors into this, I was thinking on these side sections next to the porch, what we could do is, now, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I think what we might want to do is try to add some colors in here to the side towers. I mean, you know, I'm not completely sold on this idea. This sticks out way too much as of right now. So what I think I might do is try to make it blend in a little bit better, maybe add some of our jungle wood details and stuff like that around it, see if we can get it to actually fit in with this build. And if it doesn't, then, you know, we just won't do it. But I mean, it's worth a shot, right? All right, so after adding a few jungle details, I think I do prefer that to this side over here with its like little horizontal beam going across. I do like the colors being in there just for the added cohesiveness with the interior, you know? So, I mean, there's still work to be done over here, obviously. But, I mean, as far as the towers go, I think, well, not towers, the side pieces go, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and carry that over here to the other side as well, just so I can get a clearer picture in my head of how this thing might end up looking. Well, I actually decided to recess these blocks a little bit, thinking it might look a little bit better. This room right here is a room right off our porch. I was intending to do something with these, but yeah, we might have to change up our floor in here if we are. Otherwise, when we walk in here, we're gonna keep bumping our noggins, you know? But let's go ahead and see what this looks like with those blocks recessed. Hopefully, it gives it a little bit more subtlety, which it does. Still a little dark though. It's a little dark. I mean, it's more subtle, which I think is good, right? But it's a little dark, and I kind of want those to be a little bit brighter. So maybe lighting, maybe some lighting in there would help with that. So I added some lanterns in here. We'll see if that actually helps. We'll have to wait till nighttime, of course, to actually make sure that's going to give us the effect that we want it to give us. But in the meantime, I think what we're going to do is go ahead and get started on this entrance section that I was talking about earlier, because I'm really curious to see if this is going to work out the way I see it in my head. And just so you guys know, stuff rarely works out the way I initially planned it to. Like, usually it doesn't end up looking terrible. For the most part, it looks passable enough for that I'm willing to put a video out with it featured in here. But it's usually pretty hard for me to actually get what I'm seeing in my head out in this world. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this turns out. But as far as what I want to do here at the entrance, I want to have like part of an oval shape coming out of the ground and kind of encompassing the entrance and this center section of the balcony right here. And that you kind of walk through the center of it. So I know it's really bad at I'm so bad at explaining stuff. Let me just actually get some of this built in here, and then we'll see what it actually, you know, starts looking like. I think this is probably where we want to start it, though. I think this is the point where we probably want to have that thing start coming up and around. Or maybe do we want it sticking a little bit further out? Maybe that would be better if we were to put it right here. Let me get rid of this. Let's determine where we actually want to build this thing before we build it. That would be a smart idea. So, no, I think I preferred it further back. That way we kind of have the stairs protruding out of it, which also gives us a little bit more depth, which is really important in builds, or at least as far as my builds are concerned. I'm really, you know, concerned with depth. So let me go ahead and try to figure out the shape of this thing. I think we'll probably roll with the stair a little bit lower. That way we can kind of build up off of it like that. Yeah, let me figure out the shape of this thing, and then I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. All right, so we have a shape. I'm not sure exactly yet if it's a shape we want, but it is a shape nonetheless. Let's back out over here and we'll see if this is working for us. I mean, the general shape is more or less what I was thinking, but it's not giving me the effect that I was thinking it would. I mean, something like this would make this build stand out, right? It would be a little bit more interesting than just having, you know, the flat walls and stuff. But I don't know. Okay, I have an idea, and I think it's worth a shot. What if we were to sit this thing at a slight diagonal, like have it leaning forward slightly? I think that might give us a better effect, and you have this feature of the build look a little bit more interesting, right? And it's going to be just a matter of building parallel to it and then taking out the sections that were here previously. So yeah, let's go ahead and give this a shot. I mean, everything's worth a shot, right? So, I think we might want to actually bring that up a little bit more. Let me go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll have a peek at it once more. So just bear with me a moment as I go around and raise this up just a tiny bit, because I want to figure out like what intervals we need to bring this thing up and do the different layers of it at, because we want them to be consistent throughout, because we want one angle. We don't want it to be all over the place. I think that could potentially work, and then we'll have it step out again 1 or 2 more times as we go up to the top here. Yeah, let me peek at it from the side real quick and see what it looks like. I think that might work. All right, so we've got this thing converted from 2D to 3D. Let's go ahead and see how it looks. We'll get a frontal view of it from right here. I think that's much better. Let's have a peek at it from over here. Let's have a peek at it from over here just so I can see what it looks like from a distance before it actually gets dark, because we are going to have a viewpoint from over here where you can see this building. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It is kind of defying the laws of physics right now. Like, it looks like it's about to fall on top of the beacon, so we will have to connect that to our building in some way to keep it upright. But I think that's much closer to what I had in mind. Now, as far as how we're going to anchor this thing to the building, I've drawn the shape onto the building, and what we're going to do is just anchor it at various points by having beams that run across and kind of, you know, keep this thing consistent throughout. So the next one would be, I think, right, I would like it right there, but I don't think that's going to work. I think we need to have it one further down. I think we need to have it right here. Even though I think this, actually, no, that wouldn't be better. I think this is the spot. This is where we want this next beam to go across. So we'll kind of try to keep, again, the intervals between the beams consistent, and also in places that, you know, actually make sense for them to be. So let's go ahead and bring these across, and we'll figure out where our next one's going to be, which looks like it's just going to be right here. Okay, so yeah, should be easy enough. Now, as far as the areas in between our supports, I do want those filled in, and I've kind of narrowed it down to a couple of options. So we have our jungle fences and our dark oak fences, and I'm trying to determine which one would better suit this build. The dark oak, I think works. The dark oak works. Let's have a peek at the jungle. Ooh, see, I like the jungle better for this section of the build. But for the build as a whole, I'm thinking the dark oak is probably more beneficial because that's going to help us tie it in a little bit better with the dark oak plank color, you know, the roof and all that stuff right here. So yeah, I think the dark oak is probably what we're going to end up rolling with. All right, so I've spent a little bit of time adding some details to sections we've already touched on just to try to flesh them out a little bit better. So these side sections right here, you can see I've added a lot of detail to them. And I know I tend to go a little bit overboard with the detail, but that's just kind of how I like things. So I'm liking the way this is looking so far. I do think we need a bit more of this dark oak plank color to kind of tie things in a little bit more though before we continue. We need to find a place to put that. I'm thinking maybe under here. Maybe this would be good. All right, so we've got some little ceiling sections in so that way you don't see the bottom of the floor, and I think that actually ties everything in pretty nicely. So we got these little sections, you know, the areas that differentiate themselves from the rest of the build, and I kind of like having that. You know, you can see how this area is completely separate in design from, you know, the center section right here. We do still, of course, have to do the middle of the center section. We have a lot to do still. I mean, this building still has 3 whole faces we have yet to touch on. We have both sides and we have the back. Now, to be honest, I'm not super concerned with the sides and the back because there are going to be no paths that lead back here. We will never be venturing back this way. Every other section of our city is going to be off in this direction. So yeah, I'm not so concerned with that. Not as much as I am with the front, which is what's really important. I mean, we're still going to do the sides and the back, of course. We're not going to have an incomplete build because if we do venture back that way, we don't want to come back this way and then see the interior wall from the exterior of a building, right? But since we do know what kind of details we're going to be putting in, I think this is probably a good time to call Watchdog back on over here. We'll put on a little bit of music and yeah, we'll get some of this detail work done. Creepers over here messing up all my stuff. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. And yeah, we've got this building more or less complete now. So yeah, I really do want to see what this looks like at nighttime after I hung the lanterns. I didn't really get a good chance to see what it looks like. Of course, you saw we got the sides and the back done, so I don't know really why I'm heading over here. But yeah, a lot of this is just rinse and repeat. It's the same pattern repeated over and over again. Really boring, not too much to look at. But you know, a lot of this is also going to be covered in landscaping and stuff as well, because you know, the sides, we're going to have trees and all that stuff hiding a lot of this. So as I said, wasn't too concerned with it. But that doesn't mean we are not going to do it, you know? But yeah, a lot of landscaping and stuff will occur in this area, as I've said previously. Now, speaking of landscaping, I think we're going to have to do something with this mountain over here as well, because regardless of, where you are, if you look in this direction, you're going to see that mountain. So a lot of landscaping will occur pretty much all around this build. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at the build itself. So if we come up in here, you can see like kind of how this entryway is. We do have these little rooms off to the side here, which we're just using for storage right now. You can see we got some barrels placed in here. Not me personally, but the people that run this place, the Explorers Lodge, with their new lighted tables with coffee waiting for the villagers on top of them, which is going to be cold by the time they actually get here, but I think that's okay. If we come out here onto our balcony, we can see like the structure right here, which actually doesn't block our view as much as I was thinking it might, so that's a plus. Overall, though, I gotta say, this was a fun build. I enjoyed myself. Ow. Now, I did say I wanted to wait until nighttime so I could see how this place looks with all the lanterns and stuff, but yeah, it's noon and I don't really want to get started on anything else. I don't really have time to get started on anything else, so I'm trying to think what I can do to kill the time between now and the time it gets dark. So, I don't know, maybe we'll just have a seat down here and just kind of wait it out. Well, probably shouldn't stare at that. It's bad for your eyes. Okay, it's close enough. I was just over here having a moment of contemplation over here by the water. But yeah, we can go ahead and start making our way over here since dusk is now upon us and we can see what this place looks like illuminated at night. Yeah, as I said, this was a fun build and it's very experimental. Like I did a lot of stuff here that I'm not used to doing that I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. This lag over here, as soon as I hit this hill, this lag kicks in. But yeah, I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, and do I think it could have been better? Probably, most likely, yes. But as I said, this is how you get better. You experiment around, you try new stuff, you try stuff you're not comfortable with, and you gradually improve. Practice leads to improvement. It's kind of weird for me doing this process in front of potentially thousands of people, but you know what? I'm having fun. I'm having a whole lot of fun here in this world. And, it's always fun for me to try new stuff and to try different stuff. So I'm not doing the same thing over and over again, and that's what this whole world is about. It's about coming here. It's about trying new stuff. It's about having fun and trying to build something that's hopefully in the end going to look pretty cool. But I do think that is all the time we have for today. So if you guys have enjoyed this episode, please feel free to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. If you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. And as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am not reshooting this. Until next time, I'm Lobo, and I will see you guys later.